Well, the big question is AI your training partner or is it your replacer? Ashley, one of my joint venture partners in a business that I own, we approached a question and we saw this article that suggested that they're going to start using AI in K through 12. Now, we know that they've been trying to keep AI out of K through 12 because they don't want the students, but this was a little bit of a different angle. Now, this was from the IT's perspective. So we wanted to explore that for AshRand Career Services. This is the business that we do together. Okay, so let me take a look at, let me show you the actual article that we were talking about and then you'll get an understanding of whether or not this makes. So here are the questions. Can AI chatbots address K-12 staffing shortages? Now, when she sent this to me and we were deciding on whether or not we were going to bring this up in our type of talks, our whole big deal is how can we help you with some of the, tips and tricks and all these kind of things to get you back employed or get you back on a different pivot within your career. Now, we like to talk about career and we like to talk about business and we like to talk about life because we understand that most of this stuff, most of all those things are affected by stuff that's happening, especially with in the AI era. So when we start thinking about this, look at this. It says for the next steps for AI agents in education is chatbots that can address the district's specific needs, freeing teams from time spent repeatedly answering the same questions. Now, originally, I thought, hey, I think this is going to be about how can the students have access to chatbots. Then I would have been exciting. But they kind of went in a different direction. Here's what the IT professionals need to know now. So what they were talking about is how can IT professionals basically use this? Now, this article is by Wendy Jones and Liz Drought. All right, so look at this. While many schools are testing the waters of existing AI tools, using application or platforms to boost productivity, few are wielding AI's full potential. Now, that's what she's getting at, or that's what they're getting at for their school environments. Now, this is interesting. It says as budget cuts, look at this, as budget cut crunches force schools to make staffing cuts, educators and IT departments are left seeking solutions. Now, this is very specific to IT, but I can see if you're an IT professional, why we like to talk about careers, we like to talk about business, and we like to talk about life because this now has a potential effect on that. Look at this. It says this is where AI agents offer solutions. Now, AI agents, they're kind of here, but whatever. Employing FBI, employee AI agents can create more efficiency, especially for schools working with under-resourced teams and departments. Now, again, there are a lot of within schools because I talked to some administrators, some of them are some of my coaching clients, and they talk about, oh my gosh, there's just understaffed departments everywhere. Now, I thought they were talking about teachers, so I was really excited about this when Ashley sent it to me, and I was like, oh, yeah, we can talk about that. But man, you talk about a touchy subject when it talks about teachers. So now we're asking the question, could they be your partners? All right. So these solutions can ultimately prevent frustration, saving the sanity of overtaxed IT professionals. Now we start getting it into what they're talking about, right? And the IT professionals are literally apparently being affected by this. So it became a good subject for us because we want to help a person that is maybe in that position do something different. Maybe they can introduce agents into their environments long before, so that they can just get some relief. Otherwise, they're going to be stressed out. It's going to affect their life, the whole thing, right? So they talk about this, they go into it. But what that did for Ashley and I is it made us start thinking about, hey, what is some of the bigger implications of AI usage? Right now, they talk about making AI interaction productive, not frustrating for school staff. Yes, not frustrating. because some of these agents are so hard to navigate and so hard to mess with. You got to figure it out. Now you've create increased more stress because they got to explain it to people. It was supposed to help, and now we inserted a tool, and now the tool hurts. Now, for Ashley and I, as we are thinking about creating solutions all over the place, that's why we call ourselves AshRand Career Solutions, because these are solvable problems. So when she sent it to me at first, I says, "Hey, I don't know where you're getting at with this. It sounds like they're talking about AI or IT professionals, not staff." I was looking at it from a different perspective. And she was like, "No, I think we could really talk about this." So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you a little bit of a presentation that gets into talking about it. Now, if you want us to send you that presentation and how it might look afterwards, just go ahead and let us know in the description field that you want it, and we will send it to you. It's free, and you can get a chance to look at it too. All right. So look at this. Here are some of the things they talk about: preparing K2 users for AI through training and workshops. Now, this is beautiful. Why? Because that gives Ashley and I a chance to start doing maybe some of this work as well. Could we create something? Or if you're out there and you're listening to this and you're saying, "Hey, not only do I want to understand how to pivot my career, or not only do I understand, maybe want to go into a little business, a little side hustle," well, we're just going to show you that maybe you can. Because if you're doing this work, if you're right there in the theater of this, then you may have a different bird's eye view on what you should do next. That's a key thing, right? So let's go ahead and keep looking. It says, look, they're working on an advanced CDW, so that's a big company, is working on advanced learning partnerships to develop a common language and literacy around AI. ALP supports leadership teams in developing frameworks. So you see the language they're using. Now, what I would encourage you to do, because I'm a marketer as well, is look at that and then go, "Hey, wait a minute. I like the way they're talking here. If I'm going to be presenting things, I'm a leader within the organization or in the school system, and I would like to introduce this." So maybe use some of these words, right? So that people don't feel like they're getting ready to be replaced. And then they literally start feeling like, "You're going to include this." Okay, great. So let's go ahead and finish this up. Look at this. Amplified support. So Amplified support customers now have access to new AI support agent. So they've created the agent, and now they're going to be talking about helping people. Now, this is an opportunity. So if we see this, look at this, the ASA, so the Amplified support agent will help IT professionals. Who are they targeting? IT professionals. If you're an IT professional, maybe you take a look at this. Maybe you become, and this is just an idea to maybe put a couple extra dollars in your pocket. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if you'll do it. But you're an IT professional. Imagine if you just talk with these folks and says, "Hey, I'm in a school district. Would you like me to help you do this? Now, can I get a percentage of what we sell together?" I don't know. That's a couple extra bucks potentially, right? So users can access support agents by logging into boom boom CWD Education Help Center. They have created a portal. I would like you to look at this and say, "Wait a minute, could I do those same things?" Now, that's one of the considerations. Now, let's take another look at something. All right. Now, when we start thinking a little bit deeper about this, and you start asking, "Well, how can I use this to benefit myself?" We got to think about it. Is it a training partner for us, or is it becoming something else? We want AI to be a training partner, right? Look at this. And this is what Ashley and I talk about all the time. It's like, here's a potential gap. Can you fill it? AI as your training partner addressing workforce gaps. Now, here becomes the opportunity if you are on the business side of what Ashley and I help you do. So that becomes a question. Can it? I don't know. It depends on what you got going on, doesn't it? So look at this. Workforce challenges we are all facing. Yeah, you feel like turning your computer around sometime. Man, I tell you, I get on the other side of my computers and I'm going, "I don't want to see nothing," right? And I don't want to have anything to do with these computers because all of these numbers and stuff like that, if you notice, she looks stressed out. And she's like, "Look, I don't even want to face them." And that becomes a potential problem. Look at this. Staffing shortages aren't just headlines, they're a daily reality for HR leaders across industries. We got to remember that these things could cause problems. And then we got repetitive tasks. Oh my gosh, who loves them? I do not. You should not. So, how do we then go about talking about these things? Let's be honest, when consuming your team's time and energy every single day, this is why people leave these jobs. You go, oh my gosh, that was a good job. Why did you leave it? It was terrible. I did the same thing every single day. I can't imagine it as an entrepreneur, what this would do to your soul, right? And this is what Ashley and I talk about all the time. When we're thinking about how do we create a pivot for someone, for example, or how do we address what's going on in the marketplace? What is AI doing and what are other people doing? What is the industry as a whole being affected by? Repetitive tasks. Ugh, boring, right? Okay. So, what AI actually does in training, could it do this? It is not here to replace your trainers. Is here to handle tasks that drain their energy. That's how we want you to look at it. Can it automate things for us? Could it help me learn more? If you are a continuous learner, then you know that this is good. But then also, can it provide something that you are only there for 8 or 9 hours to do? And that's 24/7 support. That's how we want you to look at it. And then be thinking about how you can address your school district of the opportunity here. Now, here it is. AI is not going to replace you. It's going to do this. The human touch gets stronger. When AI handles these repetitive tasks, your training professionals can focus on what they do best, build relationships, emotional support, things like that. These are critical because we want to make sure that our staff, if I owned a school, I would be worried about whether my staff is feeling out of touch. They got into this business because it's a people's business, not just a paycheck, because teachers don't make a lot of money. But what they do want is human interaction, human training. How can you help them get more of that? That becomes a key thing, right? So it becomes your training, a strategic coach for you, a mentor. Okay, that sounds good. Culture builder, all good things. Now, here are some real world applications. Here it is. Look at this. Now, Ashley and I are actually creating a book about this so that we can make this book available. And what we've done so far is just come up with some idea chapters. What will we want to talk about in this particular book? If you see one in specific that you like the most, let us know, and then we will make that available for you. But here it is, real world applications that work today. Onboarding assistance. Could they do that for you? Yep. Adaptive learning modules. Yes. Somebody's having a little bit of a rough time. Now, this may be going into it a little bit. Somebody's having a little bit of a rough time. They don't want anybody looking over their shoulder saying, hey, how come you can't turn the keyboard on? Right? Oh, the batteries are out. Oh, how come you can't pull up this application? Nobody wants that. Right? Now, it also gives us a chance to see when they are being trained, the analytics of how they're doing. That is critical. All right. So here's another one. If you were going out there and you're looking at this and you're saying, hey, this might help me, strategically address the real life shortages that I'm having. Here it is. This is a key thing. Now, as a marketing guy and a business professional, this is what I like to talk about. And with AshRand, this is what I bring to the table. It's like, how can we think about this businessly? Scaling without headcount. Imagine that. I don't have to hire a lot of people because it's already hard to hire a lot of people. Okay, that's fine. And then our trainers, who's training these folks? Well, perhaps they're burnt out and they like, you know what, these people aren't getting it. They don't want it. We can tell by their body language, whatever it is. So you notice these things, and now that's causing the actual trainer to burn out. That's crazy. And then skill development. Can we do it faster? That becomes a big, 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 big question. And then can we have this quality maintain itself? Trainers burn out, people aren't there, and we can end up getting, or you can end up getting inconsistent quality. So this is how AI can help us a little bit, right? Now, in chapter 4, what we want to talk about is what your employees really think. Think about that now. They work with you, they work in your organization, and they're working in your school district, but they're fearing AI. And that's why a lot of people don't want to mess with it. The fact that it is eliminating jobs is real. This is real, y'all. This is like not fake news. This is for real. But here it is. There is a reality that we got to consider. If you're positioning it as a tools, it can remove a lot of busy work. That busy work is research, as opposed to being sent to a agent, as opposed to being sent to a portal that shows them. This is what your workers want to do. They want to spend time in the profession and for the reasons they got into the teaching profession. They want to literally be able to help people. Now, if you are a professional looking at this and you're saying, I see an opportunity, then yes, you could be the one bringing this to your business. Now, in the article, they were talking about school districts, but now let's shift focuses a little bit and start talking about where else you could bring this. That becomes a key consideration. So I want you thinking about that. Here's look, we didn't want to do this stuff anyway. Task humans didn't want anyway. So AI gives us a chance to not only, so in one case, you want to go, okay, Captain Obvious, AI, we get it. We didn't want to do all this stuff. Meetings, oh my gosh, I can't stand them. All right. So, and then in meetings, what I typically do, because it's boring and you don't know what's all about, I just take notes, right? But now if I don't have to take notes, I say, hey, send me the meeting notes. Compliance and documentation, that's big, especially if you're in school districts. You got certain things you can and cannot do. Content updates, I want my stuff updated continuously. Guess what? Your AI can do that for you. Now you don't have to burn out. If you still have secretaries or admin, what do they call them? Administrative assistants, we don't burn them out. Assessments, if you're looking at from a grading perspective, what could happen here? This is how we're implementing these things. Now, start small, think big. All I want you to do is thinking about identifying one pain point. That's it. This is why a lot of companies, we're going to be talking about that in chapter 5, where a lot of companies and a lot of organizations go wrong is they say, oh, AI, let's put it on everything. Hey, man, you ain't spreading peanut butter. You're not trying to fill the whole piece of bread with peanut butter. That's wrong. We take a spoonful. I don't know if you ever did this, but I used to eat peanut butter out of the jar, but one spoonful at a time. That's what we're trying to accomplish because that gets us there. That's easier. Identify one pain point. Involve the people that you're going to be training. Involve them right from the start. Test it and measure it. And then I like to say, pour the gas on what works. Are y'all with me on this one? Pour the gas on what works. So we're going to scale what works. Here it is. Real results, time recovered. Administrative time, response time, content or content development. They can do a lot in this particular area. This is where I want you thinking about it. When organizations integrate AI into training workflows, they're seeing meaningful time savings that translate into capacity. So let's see if I got this right. You didn't have a lot of capacity and you thought you'd throw more people at it. And you discovered that throwing more people at it is not the play, then AI could be the play. And you introduce it in this particular way, and now it doesn't just like run roughshod over everybody. And that's one of the key considerations as well. Protecting what makes training effective. Look at this. You still need people. That's why we talk about AI being a partner, not a punisher, a protector to the degree that it's helping me protect my job because you learn how to use it and it is patient. So here it is, emotional intelligence and empathy, that's us. Cultural awareness and sensitivity, complex problem solving guidance, career mentorship and development, conflict resolution and mediation. Yeah, AI handles this other stuff. Data processing, routine questions, progress tracking, content personalization, junk like that. That's stuff that we don't want to do really. I mean, I don't know anybody that gets up in the morning, does a handstand and says, oh my gosh, I can't wait to process some data. I don't care if you're an IT professional or not. The goal isn't AI or humans, it's AI and humans. That's what we want to start thinking about. Overcoming the fear factor. Look at this. Change is always met with resistance. Here's how to address concerns head on. Change is always met. Now, my master's degree is basically in change management, organizational development. I got a master's of organizational development. And this right here is so true. People see you coming and they go, oh man, we're about to get laid off. Or, oh man, we gonna start a new program. Right? So we got to be very transparent and tell them, look, job security. Yes. Clear to community AI is augmenting you, not eliminating you. That part. Share the specifics of repetitive tasks being automated and how this protects jobs by increasing efficiency. Okay. Upskilling. Oh, wait a minute. We're using new words. Yes. This is going to upskill you. Get it? Upskill. Now, ongoing dialogue, making sure that we're constantly talking to people is critical. All right, here it is. Competitive advantage. Your organization, if you're enhancing it, if you are AI enhanced, if you can get the training part right, you can win. Especially given the fact that a lot of people are saying, I don't want to work anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm seeing so many young people retire, right? One guy I know, he's in his maybe late 40s, or early 50s. And the fact that even though he's got time in, he's retiring. Oh, that breaks my heart, man. So anyway, because he's got skills and talents. So partnering with us, AshRand Career Services. Now, we really like to talk about not only career, but we like to talk about business and we like to talk about life because we believe that those things all come together and give us all the wholeness that we wanted to have. Now, this is where we're helping you out. Ready to explore how AI can transform your training program without eliminating jobs. That's the key part. Randy and Ashley, that's us, are here to help you design your strategy that amplifies your career, your team strategy. That's the key part. We want to help amplify. So let's build workforce solutions that work for everyone. Here's what we're going to be helping you do. Technology handling the tedious and humans focusing on what matters the most. The future of training isn't human or AI. It is both. That's one of the key considerations. Hopefully this works for you, and we'll talk to you soon.